Where did you begin showcasing, and where did your career go from there?
Oh man, I began showcasing in Deming, New Mexico. My parents parted ways when I was in high school, and four boys total. Two of us went with her to the El Paso area. From South Carolina, being born and raised, to the El Paso area, which was a tough culture shock and environmental shock, is the desert. And nothing for me, I thought in my head, to do but sports and the arts. I was already an artist as a kid, watching my father as an artist. And so when you put me in a place that's just like out of my element, all I can do is what I know to feel comfortable. And it was sports and it was the arts. Started showcasing out there. Now, where'd it go from there is all the way to today is a long story, but I can shorten it up quick. Started doing murals first, portraits, pet portraits, everything at a young age, teenage, and went to the Marine Corps, went to Iraq and all of that. Didn't do much artwork. It was a very emotional time, very busy time. Did a little artwork in the Marine Corps. As soon as I got out of the Marine Corps, it amplified. It just went, pff. I wanted to get in every gallery, every festival, every street show, every fancy show that I could get in, and I did until I created my own showcase. And I have dabbled back into murals and things like that, but the showcasing arts is where I belong.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that, where do you currently work out of as an artist?
Greenville, South Carolina, and I love it. People say, you lived in San Diego, you lived in Seattle, you lived in Norfolk, you lived in all these places, El Paso, all these places. Why Greenville, South Carolina? That's people who've never been to Greenville, South Carolina. It is everything you get in a big city, but it is minus all those negative things. All the things that drive you nuts in a big city, Greenville don't have that stuff. So it is a small city, like a miniature Charlotte, and it has all the dope stuff of the big city.
Okay. So how did Greenville Through a Lens come to be?
All right, so I am a history buff. I'm big on learning. I'm a truth seeker, I guess you could say. And I love knowing stuff, not to, but so I could tell people how much I know. For me, I just love knowing stuff. Like I wonder, yada, yada, right? And I go watch YouTube or I go research it. I go read a book. I go read articles. I go find out that thing, right? It just got to this time in my life where I was like, I wonder more about people and about people about right around me. And I just started researching out of nowhere, right? I had this show in San Diego, and it was a going away show when I bought my businesses in Greenville. And it was all about leaving engineering. This guy that was an engineer, a part-time artist, and he wanted to go buy this business in South Carolina that nobody in San Diego understood. Why would you leave San Diego? Why are you buying this type of business? And it was an art studio that I was buying, and it made me happy. I used to work there, and it made me very happy. And just, it wasn't nostalgia that got me to buy the business. It was freedom, entrepreneurship, and it was passion. Like I had a passion for that type of studio. Those two things is all it took for me to jump into it. I learned how to do Greenville Through a Lens in LA, showcasing downtown LA, Hollywood, Santa Ana, San Diego, all of that, watching those Mexican and Black artists actually drive change in their areas by using their hands and their voices to tell artwork through the fine arts. Never saw that. I didn't go to an art college. Maybe people that go to art colleges already know about that feeling and that dynamic, but I didn't. And I learned it at showcases. And so just perfect timing, getting to Greenville. Activism is what reminded me that you can change people and you can change policies through your voice. My voice is painting. So I'm not great at marching. I'm not great at giving speeches, but I can paint what I want to say. And that's what got me to do Greenville Through a Lens.
So you're sharing the stories of the unsung heroes of Greenville.
I sure am. I'm telling the stories of not unsung heroes only, but it's like a did you know kind of showcase. Did you know this about this area, about this school, about this business or this church? Did you know? That's all. Because those things are unsung.
What would someone new experience at a Greenville Through a Lens showcase?
A new Greenville Through a Lens audience member is typically surprised after you see our marketing, the way we try to make you feel like you're in the room. We still can't do it. So when they get there, they always come up to the team members and they are in awe, but they are mostly in appreciation. You know, people of all walks of life come to Greenville Through a Lens. It is deeply rooted in Greenville's Black history. That's the way I started this showcase. But it has quickly grown in its fourth year to the South Carolina diaspora. And when is it going to grow into the United States diaspora and things like that? So it's growing, but we did root it in Greenville's Black history. So when people come in there, the paintings do blow them away, but it's really the MC, the poets, the DJ. The crowd is dressed as paintings themselves. They are dressed. We encourage them to dress in the most artsy fashion that they can. So their hair and the way they're dressed is already artwork. Everything I just mentioned is what blows these new people away when they come to Greenville Through a Lens. I didn't see all of this in LA. A lot of this is just me. It's what I wanted for Greenville Through a Lens. And then the other 50% of it is what I did learn out west. And most of that is the storytelling, how to present the work and things like that. So, but yeah, some people only came once to Greenville Through a Lens. Some people been there every year. And they tell me every year, we will not miss a year. So that lets me know we change it every year, but not drastically. But that lets me know to keep it here because, as I said in the beginning, before Greenville Through a Lens existed, it's needed. It was needed. I don't know who told me it was needed, but the universe, if you're chasing your passion, it's going to tell you what to do with it. You don't always have a map.
It's like you curated what you felt was needed in addition to the things that you've learned along the way as a showcasing artist.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, with that being said, you said it changes. Each year they come back and say, man, that was good. For a returning Greenville Through a Lens audience member, what's something new that they can expect this year?
Man. There's about 7 artists showcasing in the 2026 showcase for Greenville Through a Lens. These artists are 4 out of Anderson, South Carolina, who has done a tremendous amount of work in Miami, Oakland, South Carolina especially, and is growing at crazy strides every year in his messages in his artwork. And I still don't know fully what it is he's doing with his artwork, and that's what I love about it. And I shouldn't know, and you shouldn't be predictable. So we got Orlando Maciel. He goes by Orlando Corona. He goes actually on social media by Orifami. Straight out of Mexico, born and raised, been living in Greenville since he was elementary school age, and is telling massive stories, not only about his Mexico region, but about Greenville and how the brown influence of Greenville came to be. And I don't know everything he's about to present, and I'm super interested to see what it is he's doing. He does printmaking and painting. We got Peggy Dillard Toon, who, I mean, it'd be a whole video if I explained her the way I just did those young men. Look her up is what I'd say. She has done a tremendous amount of work around the world when it comes to film, print, fabric, tapestry, painting, and everything you could think of when it comes to being an artist, dance, singing, theater, everything. Look up Peggy Dillard Toon, because I can't waste this episode talking about her. And then when you go into her husband, Lloyd Toon, who is the most tremendous fine artist, one of the most I've been around. I've been around from coast to coast. I've been around a lot of artists. Lloyd, look up Lloyd Toon and look up Peggy Dillard Toon. Let me say that. Who else do we have? We have a first-time Greenville Through a Lens showcasing artist, Timothy Cunningham, my daughter, who asked to be in my show years ago, and I told her she wasn't ready. I don't believe in nepotism in a form and fashion of just because. I believe in timing, hard work, dedication, and she's shown those things. And she showed hard work and dedication, and it's now her time. So, ceramics and metals. So there's going to be a lot of 3D work, 2D paintings and print work, stand-up statues, wall-hanging statues. The venue is different. We're at the Rutherford this year. We have an outdoor garden. Cigars, hookah, and beyond will be happening out there, along with music and poetry. The statues, things like that will be in the outdoor garden. We got the second floor, first floor, where it's going to be a tag team of 2 MCs this year. Usually we have our main MC, which is Razak Adeyemi. Met him showcasing in LA, learned a tremendous amount from him. He MC'd 3 of my shows in LA, and now he's based out of Atlanta, so it made sense for us to bring him over to Greenville. And since year number 1, Razak has been a founding partner of the Greenville Through a Lens Showcase. A lot of the ideas and things that you see at Greenville Through a Lens came from that brother. So.
And you have your artist, Ramin.
Ramin Stallings, number 7. All right. Interesting. What's his name on Instagram? The Renaissance Man. And that's right. Rightfully so. Ramin is a photographer, a fine artist when it comes to 2D charcoal paint on canvas, on texture, a muralist. He's a poet. He's an activist. What else does Ramin do, man? He does a million things. He is the Renaissance Man. He's big on history. He's big on current affairs. He speaks all these things in his art. He's a very community-oriented artist. He born and raised downtown Greenville. Yeah. So we got Ramin Stallings.
Anything else new that returning audience members can expect?
The performances from the poets will be Glennis Redmond, who is the Greenville Poet Laureate, if that's how you pronounce that word, and Dove Dupree. Dove gives the performances where the veins are popping out of his neck. He's spitting all over the microphone and anybody that's right there around him. He's giving it his physical and spiritual all on the microphone. And I don't touch their artwork. I ask them to please share with me kind of what you're about to do, but I don't want to touch your artwork. If you tell me something about your artwork, I'm probably going to mention or maybe try to add something. Don't tell me nothing. Just do your thing. Glennis Redmond, last year when she performed, she said she wasn't ready. I ain't know it was like this, is what she said. I ain't know it was like this. And said that next time, she delivered last year.
She did.
So I'm like, oh, hell, what's she about to do this time then? Like, so to me, that the fine artists, I love them all. But to me, the suspense when I attend Greenville Through a Lens is the poetry and the MCs. Because I don't know what the MCs are about to take us through when it comes to the narrative. And I really don't know what these poets are about to do. So at that point, people be trying to talk to me at Greenville Through a Lens. They want to do selfies. I'm the man of the hour. They want to do selfies. They want to interview me. Like the news is in there. Everybody's trying to talk. But when them poets are getting ready to perform, I give all my attention to them. It's crazy. I get butterflies when they're about to perform.
Okay, well, you've walked us through the experience of Greenville Through a Lens.
Yeah.
What to expect this year. I think everybody wants to know, is Greenville Through a Lens for life? Is this a lifetime show?
No, it can't be. I wouldn't be an artist if I did the same show for life. No. So in the beginning, I told myself 5 years of Greenville Through a Lens, and then you will write the book, publish the book, and get it out there and move on to whatever your next chapter is. And that's where we're at. We're at the 4th annual year. We're going to be throughout this year working on solidifying a publisher. We need a publisher to carry this book to the next level. We want this book in South Carolina public schools. You got to go county by county, things like that. We want this book in the Greenville Museum of Arts, but we additionally want it in other museums across South Carolina. We want it in all the hotels in Greenville and Spartanburg and Anderson, South Carolina. That's what we want for this book. We want this book to live in Greenville, like a part of Greenville, you know. You know, the proceeds can go to a charity. We give to charities every showcase. The book just needs to be a part of Greenville. It's too much in this showcase. 4 years already, and by the 5th year, can you imagine? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a lot of stuff and just stuff, performances and fine arts that went into it that need to be historically preserved, man.
I agree.
Yeah.
So the 4th year is coming up. You'll be a 5th year.
Yeah, a 5th year.
The book will be published. Then what's next?
I don't know. I don't think I'm supposed to know what's next. I think if I knew everything that was next as an artist, then I think this is all a gimmick. I haven't planned out my career as an artist. I didn't have like these steps that I was going to take to be a well-known or successful or whatever artist that people call it. I started being an artist as a young boy because I wanted to. You know how I started being an artist? I started tracing, not drawing. Didn't think I could draw this stuff yet. We was getting lowrider magazines at the crib. I was like elementary school. And I was laying a piece of drawing paper over those bad boys and tracing the lowriders onto the paper, and then was adding my flair to it after. And I think that's what taught me to be an artist, is the after part, the post-production. And I went from there to getting into, I think the next thing was charcoal and then paint. And so if I knew everything I wanted back then, or I want to be this artist, if I manifested all of that back then, I don't know. I don't think that's me. That's not my type of, that stuff works for some artists, man, but I don't think having all of that laid out, the whole plan like that is, I don't think that makes me an artist. I think that makes me a businessman, an entrepreneur. You know, people ask me this question because they think because I have been an entrepreneur and we do have a foundation that I'm that well planned out. And I'm not. I'm an artist. I have a team for a reason because I'm not like that. I'm not a strategic planner. I did come from mechanical engineering, but I am not like, I don't use that in my planning of, I want my artistry to be just like whatever I want. Whatever I want. And that's why I created my own show. I got tired of being told no. I got tired of being rejected. I don't care what no artist say, that it matters. I don't care what no artist say, it matters and it builds you. Now, whether you let it build you negative and make you toxic, that's up to you. And I didn't. It built my wonders. So all I had to do was be exposed to the right things. And that's all it took. And I created my own foundation, my own showcase. And I just feel way more productive now. I don't feel so much in a box, and I don't feel where rejection is like even a fear. It's not even a thought.
You feel like that's your why for creating Greenville Through Lens.
That's a big part of the why.
Okay.
That's a big part of the why.
Your YouTube channel.
The YouTube audience, the all of those aspects of what I do now in my career, that is a big part of the why. You know, being an artist is about freedom. That goes for singers. They got to deal with what their manager wants first. Then once they get a deal, they got to deal with what the company wants. And then they got to deal with what the audience wants. And I think as a painter and a performing artist, you should only have to deal with what you want. You should only have to deal with what you want.
Okay. Well, kind of leaning into that, with art being ever changing and growing, where do you feel like your art is taking you now?
You know, I'm tired of being the artist that can paint semi-realism, because I wouldn't call it all the way realism. My past work over the last 10 years, I would call it a semi-realism. I can almost get you there to like a photo. But then at some point, this part of me that just came out earlier that said, I think I should feel like I should do whatever the hell I want as an artist. I think every artist should be able to feel that way. And some of them are just not allowed to. But back to what you asked. I put myself in that box and I tied myself down to being a realism artist. And my paintings were still empty inside. They weren't telling what I want. It was saying what I thought the audience wanted. I thought you wanted this. And it was amateur to me. And when I say amateur, that's not classism in the arts. It's what are you doing with your art is what that is. And that's what I had to ask myself. What are you doing? This stuff has nothing to it. Nothing but a show off of what you can paint with your realism. And that's how I felt. And I just feel now, I can just tell you now, I've been stepping into way different capabilities that I didn't think I had. I'm using my handyman skills that I knew I had as an engineer, as a mechanic. And I mean like welding, fabricating, when it comes to wood, metal, polymers, plastics, things like that, fabrics, anything. So I'm getting into using those things and incorporating those things into my artwork, which I have never. People might be like surprised because everybody knows I'm a handyman. I can handle anything, any project I need, unless it's like something crazy like an HVAC system or, I hand that away. But I'm that's where my artwork is taking me now, to where this freedom thing that I battle with. And it's like, now I'm battling with me. And now I'm about to prove to me, when I got into freedom last time, it was creating Greenville Through a Lens and the foundation. This time it's about I told myself I couldn't. That's not allowed in the arts. You know, you're welding. You know what I'm saying? People do care. And people can receive those messages with welding, wood fabrication, wood burning, metal on wood, polymers on wood. People can receive those messages like that. And I've told myself people can't. And that's the battle with being an artist. And so I thought that was very cliche. And I thought handyman work stayed where it was, and fine artists, whoever those guys are, where they are. But I'm a chameleon, man. I can do a bunch of stuff, and I'm about to be putting that into the artwork moving forward, and that started last year.
So with this new movement in your artwork, what feelings do you want to evoke when people look at your art?
With that new movement in artwork, it gives my art a way deeper depth. Let me say it like that, real dumbed down. It gives my art a very intricate turn into 3D wall hanging pieces, 3D stand-up pieces, along with semi-realism paint jobs on them, along with community research, charrettes, and all of that work brought into them. I'm able to tell stories in ways that I never have before. I'm not a poet or a songwriter or a film person. But when it comes to painting, that has changed into 3D and 2D world of explaining exactly what the hell I be thinking. Because my downtime is scrolling articles, watching interviews, independent journalists, all about history around me. So that's going into the new aspect of the new way I'm doing the artwork.
So what's the feeling you want to evoke from people? What do you want them to feel when they look at your art?
I don't want them to feel all the way a piece of the artist. I know people say when they buy my pieces or other artists' pieces, or I've even had other artists explain to me, I don't think artists should be explaining a whole lot to each other. I think that I don't think that's authentic. I think you should let each artist give each other advice, but that's another conversation. I want people to feel more so the story of the piece. And if the story doesn't come clear to you, then I want you to still, the pieces I make are not so abstract to where you can't tell the story, but I want it to invoke questions. And when people walk past my work and never ask a question, then I feel like I need to talk to them. I feel like I need to explain the work. Then that tells me, then you need to do better. Because people should be walking past the pieces and actually pausing for at least a second and ask their partner who they're with. Like, either what the hell was he thinking, or what do you think this might mean? That lets me know I did it with that piece. They don't have to like buy it. Most people who go look at art go for education more so than the acquisitions. But if they can stop and just take a look at it, that lets me know I got it. I did the job on that piece.